And let me tell you, I had a mental breakdown. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Emma. I am pregnant with my first little one on the way, due in October. So I'm just sharing my pregnancy journey here on YouTube so that I will have all these memories to look back on. And then I'm also, just looking for community and, mama friends and stuff like that, because none of my friends really have kiddos. And so I'm just looking to kind of, maybe just relate to some other moms out there. So if you are also already a mom, or an expecting mom, or a hopefully soon to be expecting mom, or maybe you're not and you just like watching these videos, I would love it if you subscribed, if you left a comment below to kind of join the conversation. Maybe we can get to know each other. I'll follow along with your journey and you can follow along with mine, and we can just create a really cool community here. So today what I'm going to be talking about is my experience with finding out I was pregnant, and my experience telling my husband that I was pregnant. This was a very emotional experience for me and my husband, and I have a few clips of me finding out that I am. I don't actually have like the moment that I saw the first lines on the pregnancy test. Don't have the moment filmed that I told my husband, because this was an unexpected pregnancy and there were a lot of just overwhelming emotions that happened, and I just didn't feel comfortable, filming telling my husband that, because I knew that at the end of the day there was no question that my husband would be excited and love our baby and support me 100% and all of those things, but I wasn't sure what his initial reaction was going to be, especially because of my initial reaction. I just didn't want to come into telling him about it with the expectation that he was just going to be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and those types of things. I just wanted to come into it with the expectation and the allowance for him to feel whatever he needs to feel, and we can talk about whatever we need to talk about and then just come together on that. So that's why those things are not filmed, but I am just going to talk them out. So I'm just going to start with how I found out. So if you watched my previous video, I knew that we had had unprotected sex during my ovulation window. So I knew that there was a chance, and so did my husband. So we both knew that I was going to be taking a pregnancy test, at the end of my cycle, and that there was a chance that I would be pregnant. So that part, while it wasn't planned or, intentional, it wasn't a surprise in that sense. We did know that there was a chance. And so it was a Wednesday when I took a pregnancy test for the first time, Wednesday, January 29th, and my period was set to come on that following Sunday. I am a nurse and I work night shift. So I worked on the 28th evening, and I went to work and I just had a crazy busy night. And this is such a nursing stereotype, but I actually didn't get a chance to pee the entire shift, the entire 12 hours. I came home the next morning, and while it wasn't first morning pee, it had been held for a while, so it may as well have been first morning pee. So I felt like, okay, this is an okay time to test. And it was supposed to be, 4 days before my period. So I felt like, if I am pregnant, there's a good chance that I would get a positive at this time. I took a test and got these results. And for some reason, I was just completely in denial. Like, I took the first one, I saw a little line there, and I went ahead and took a second one, which there was also a line there. For some reason, I was just not convinced. I was not convinced. I just got home from work. Oh my gosh, I look like a mess. I think I'm pregnant. I just took a pregnancy test. Not at all expecting it to be positive. I'm scared every month that I'm pregnant. But I thought, you know, maybe it was an evap line, maybe it was a dye run. I don't know why I thought that because I had taken 2, but I just was not convinced. I held it until the morning when I got home, and I took a first response. I felt like if this first response is positive, I'll believe it. And I don't know why I felt like that because they're all the exact same. But for some reason, I was like, if this first response is positive, then I will believe it. And so I took the test, I turned on my shower, I went and got a snack, came back, and this is what I saw. And let me tell you, I had a mental breakdown. I graduated nursing school in May. I got a full-time job in July, and we got married in August. My husband was in school until December, and he is actually a professional athlete. So he just turned pro and is starting his professional golf career. So things are really just taking off with him. He is traveling a ton and qualifying for events and all of those things. So he's not in the position like I am where you work a set amount of hours a week and you get a paycheck for those hours. It's, you travel, you play qualifiers, you hopefully get into the event, and then if you make the cut, you make a paycheck. And he's working on his career, and we're totally fine. But we were not planning to bring a child into the scenario that we have right now. And so when I saw the positive pregnancy test, I just started bawling. I think because it set in that this is real. Those tests that I took yesterday were real. I am pregnant, and this is our situation. I want to say that I have had very irregular cycles, very irregular periods forever. My doctor has kind of told me because of the irregularity in my cycles, I'd literally have 50-day cycles, or I'd have a 30-day cycle, and when I got off the pill, I didn't have a cycle for like 9 months. So it was just, my doctor has basically told me, like, you might need help whenever it comes time that you want to have a baby. You might need something to help induce your ovulation and, get your hormones level before you can have a baby. And has also had his own, health concerns related to his fertility and his reproductive system. And for that reason, he was also told by a doctor, there's a good chance that you would need to have some procedures before you would be able to, conceive naturally. And so there was just this crazy tornado of emotions of, oh my gosh, I got pregnant and I've wanted to be a mom my entire life, and this is bliss to me right now to see this positive pregnancy test, but at the same time just having this panic of, we have another life to care for now. My husband travels 2 or 3 weeks out of every month for his career right now. How am I gonna have a baby whenever my husband is traveling so much? And it was just honestly like panic set in. And so I texted my sister. The only thing I knew to do, I texted my older sister who has 2 kids, and I sent her the positive pregnancy test, and I just said, what am I gonna do? What do I do? How do I tell Hayden, my husband? And she just she's amazing, and she just told me to calm down, to realize that this is such a blessing, that I will figure it out, and that I can do anything. And she just really encouraged me. She gave me some great advice about telling, my husband, about telling our families. I'm just so grateful to her in that moment for, just speaking some encouragement into me whenever I was literally having a breakdown. I was freaking out, but I knew, okay, I have to tell my husband. So I had seen those positives the day before. I didn't tell him. I kept it a secret overnight until I took the test the next day. So I went to Target and I got this little onesie and these little booties, and I got a digital pregnancy test that I'll put here on the screen. And when he came home, I just sat him down and I said, I have to talk to you. And of course I lost it. I started crying and I told him, I'm pregnant. Even though a lot of the panic had kind of worn away and I felt more excited. Whenever I was telling him in that moment, I just panicked again because he's just getting his career started. He's been working for this dream of pursuing professional golf for literally 20 years. We were both college athletes. That's how we met. You know, he worked really hard in his college athletic career to get to the point where he is now. I just wanted him to know that there's nothing that could happen that I want to stop him from pursuing his dream, because in the long run it's better for our family for him to pursue that and, you know, to have that successful career than for me to say, stop, you know, you need to stay at home, we're having our baby, get a job right now. In the long run, that's not as good for our family. So I wanted it to be abundantly clear that our situation is not changing. It's gonna be very, very hard, but our situation is not changing. He was amazing, an angel. I'm so grateful for him. Literally, I know that I'm biased, but I have the best husband in the world. I am so grateful for him. He just told me, you know, we are going to figure it out. We are going to bring this baby into the world. We're going to love it and give it the best life possible, and we're gonna do it together, and we are gonna be okay. And it was very emotional, and then I gave him, you know, the gift that I had gone to the store to get. Overall, I mean, it was probably one of the most emotional days of my life to kind of feel just such a roller coaster of emotions. And then on top of that, I just felt so much guilt about not being over the moon. I felt so much guilt for being panicked, and I felt like, gosh, I'm gonna be the worst mom because I'm not just purely excited right now in this moment. And I really felt that way. My initial reaction was fear and panic and anxiety and stress and all of that stuff. And obviously I've had weeks now to digest it all, and most of that panic and fear and anxiety has dissipated. I feel stressed now, and I think I will feel stressed until this child is an adult and has children of their own, and I'll probably still feel stressed then, because I want to give this child everything it deserves and more. And I'm imperfect, and I'm always gonna doubt that I'm able to do that, so obviously I'm gonna feel stress. And now I could not be more excited that this baby is coming. I feel like this is a time that I've looked forward to forever. For my entire being, I have looked forward to being a mom, and I'm just so excited and so grateful now for this. But it was a very emotional and trying, you know, couple of days. And so that's my story. If you can relate to this story, then please, you know, leave a comment, drop a like on the video. And if your experience was totally different, I'd love to hear about that too. If you liked this video, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for more content. Next week, I'm gonna go ahead and do my baby names I love but will not be using, so be sure and come back and watch that. Until then, bye.